Thank you very much for joining me on this Friday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I'm thinking of you if you're dealing with some of the storm damage, getting some of the reports of flooding, obviously issues with some boats, and again, some roofs off of some homes. So again, thinking of you if you had to deal with this. Here is Bret back behind it. There is Cindy getting stronger. I'm going to show you why I believe that stays away from the Caribbean. I want to get to that right away, not leave anything out there. I believe that stays away from the Caribbean. I'm going to get into Cindy, and then that next wave, not seeing any signs of development out of that, which is some good news. But again, clearly it's more of an August picture out there versus June. Now, here is Bret. Now, as you look at this, again, not well defined. See this flare up here, more colors, more rain and storms actually this morning with it. It's kind of been holding steady in strength. And as I mentioned, though, as it starts to move into the Caribbean and it encounters wind shear and is about to weaken, it'll kind of spread out. That's why I was mentioning Trinidad and Tobago. I know in some other channels it wasn't highlighted, but I was mentioning there's going to be some rain. That's why I kept diving down into Trinidad and Tobago, and that's exactly what we've had so far today in spots, while others have woken up to sunshine. I was mentioning that in yesterday's video, the sharp divide. Again, Guadeloupe north, we've been in much better shape. Even Dominica, we fared okay in most spots as this has been moving by, but there's still that high chance of rain today as this works in. So here's a look at the Barbados radar. Now, as this system, the center of it's now in the Caribbean, so it's almost it's kind of treating it like a tropical wave. With the center off to the west, we get the back side of that. So that will filter in some rain even to Guadeloupe later. Dominica, we have some of the squally weather showers, some gusty winds nearby at times, and then watching that St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, some heavier rain nearby Trinidad and Tobago, and again Barbados, we could still see some of that rain that will be filtering in as that day goes on. Still on track to move almost due west, and then that D right there showing it as a depression falling apart. It could fall apart rather quickly later today into tomorrow. This is not coming to Puerto Rico. It is going to stay to the south. I just received a message that some old videos, old data, old information is out there trying to scare people. Again, please share this information. This is the accurate stuff. That's why I do this channel, to combat the bad information out there. I know things get passed along, but again, all is on track from what we've been talking about together in these last few videos. As far as the tropical storm force winds, still some tropical storm conditions possible today. Not so much in Barbados, but still St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Watching near Dominica, Martinique and St. Lucia, still some tropical storm kind of squalls moving in. Some of the rain bands will have some of the rain and some gusty winds, and of course those high seas and some higher rain totals. But again, that sharp divide between some heavier rain and then nothing at all, and that's what happens in a system like this. Models take what's left of this to the west. Now, once it gets south of Haiti, and again, this is not coming to Haiti, it's not coming to the Dominican Republic, it's going to be weakening to the south. Once it gets here near the ABC Islands, it is going to just kind of fall apart into an open tropical wave, and it could enhance the chance of rain in Jamaica, even back toward Belize and Honduras as we get into early next week. But again, it's really going to fall apart, and you see it here. This is as we go out in time. These are all the computer models, and again, this is tropical storm force. It'll stay a tropical storm for the short term, but once we get past about 12 hours, it may quickly fall apart after that, and then just kind of open up into a good old-fashioned tropical wave. Here's one of the reasons why. Look at this orange shading right out ahead of it. That's the dry air at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, so way above our head. It's running into very dry air, and that wind shear, once again, that is going to rip it apart. So again, I want to get into Cindy. I'm going to break down the latest on Tropical Storm Cindy, which is getting stronger. But let me cover this first. This here again, what's left of Bret, still some areas of rain. And if you had the rain last night and you get some more today, of course, that could lead to some flooding concerns. Of course, we've had the issues along the coast, watching out for the chance of some mudslides as we go throughout the day. But as this starts to weaken, this is this afternoon, it kind of spreads out. And you see, as I was talking about yesterday, that enhancement of rain, Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago, even Guyana, it helps enhance that chance of rain. Now pressing forward as we get into tomorrow afternoon. And by the way, finally a pattern change near Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua. Higher chance of rain overall, not washouts, but again, we're starting to get out of that very dry period. Tomorrow, south of Puerto Rico, south of the Dominican Republic, this falls apart. Some heavier rain, Nicaragua, Costa Rica tomorrow. This is what's left of Bret. Again, this is for tomorrow. That over there is what is Cindy, and I'm going to zoom out ahead in this video to show you Cindy and take you out in time on that. But look at this map. Let me stop it here. I'm going to bring you into Sunday. So this is by the time we get into Sunday, right around midday. It's hard to find anything. It just falls apart. So again, yeah, we may get clipped by a shower. Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti could get a slightly better chance Sunday into Monday over by Jamaica. But again, this will fall apart. That blob there is Cindy, and I'll be diving into that further. And then again, what is left of this will kind of march its way off to the west. I'll be watching that. Let me take out in time further, bring into Sunday, into Monday. I'll stop the clock here on Monday. I want to also point out this. Look at that little spin right there. Eastern Pacific is about to get active. We could have a couple name systems out there, but near Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, that rain chance gets higher. And on Monday, you see that? Cayman Islands and Jamaica, not a washout, but a higher chance of rain because again, this, what was Bret, will start to work across as a tropical wave, even some scattered storms on Monday, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and as we work over toward Cuba. Here's the wind tracker. Again, some gusty winds. We'll see that, some of the winds in this kind of pink shading, 56 kilometers an hour or higher, 35-mile-per-hour gusts. So we'll get some gustier winds near St. Lucia today, for example. Core of the winds of this, again, it's going to be falling apart. Some gustier winds, 56 to 64 kilometers an hour in that pinkish and purple shading we're seeing there. Then this moves across, but watching that over there, again, you see that white shading there. Those could be some winds upwards of about white and kind of black shading, upwards of about 96 kilometers an hour or 60 miles per hour. That's with Cindy. Let me get into that in a moment. But here is Bret right here. This is a crazy map, I know, tons of colors. So here is Bret. All you need to know, that's Bret. This here, this orange shading, this red shading, that is the wind shear. Those winds in the opposite direction just eat away at that. And I showed you the dry air as well. So it's the wind shear and the dry air. That is why it's going to weaken, despite the fact we have very warm water temperatures. Lots of ingredients go into these systems. It's not just the water temps, clearly. It's what's going on above our heads because those storms need to build up for this to become an organized system. And this is actually going to become more disorganized as we go out in time. Sharp divide in the rain. Guadalupe, again, most of it has been to the south. Still, we could get anywhere from 75 millimeters plus as we work our way near Martinique, and then again south as we get towards St. Lucia. St. Lucia, we could have some spots if we get stuck in a rain band today of near 100 millimeters of rain. So I'm still concerned about the flooding. The forecast I showed you yesterday, everything panned out as a whole, watching out for upwards of 50 millimeters or higher of rain in Barbados. And again, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where some damage was reported with some of the gusty winds, watching out for some of the rain totals again today that could top 75 millimeters of rain. So we could get 2, 3, even 4 inches of rain in spots. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, as I mentioned, that kind of enhancement will be close to some heavier rain. We may top out around 25 millimeters. Some of us have already had that. But again, if we get a little extra punch of rain over the next couple days, these are 3-day totals, by the way, so it includes what we get this weekend. We could have a few spots nearby over 75 millimeters of rain. I'll monitor that. Isolated flooding, not out of the question. Trinidad and Tobago through Guyana, and of course, watching St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Barbados, and Martinique. Now, 3-day totals over here as we work our way into Central America. It's more of the scattered variety. So of course, if you get some downpours, we could get 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain or higher. Now, okay, so for today, the gusty winds still across for some of us, especially towards St. Lucia, Barbados for times, Martinique, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Bret will weaken tonight, and then it acts as a tropical wave as it moves across the Caribbean, and I'll monitor those streams and rivers that are still on the rise in some spots. Please be safe. So again, here's Bret. Look at this blob here. It did get stronger. It is better organized. And while the official track from the National Hurricane Center does not have this as a hurricane, I do believe this could spin up into a hurricane at least briefly. So I think the conditions will be conducive for some further development on Cindy. So this is Cindy, but look at that northwesterly curve. If it stays on this track, it stays to the northeast of the Caribbean, to the northeast of the islands, missing Anguilla, missing Antigua and Barbuda. I want to stress that because what's going to happen is we're going to have a lot of folks sharing stuff. Hey, we just had Bret. There's another system nearby. But again, I'm trying to let you know best I can that this is going to make more of a curve because high pressure up here is not dominant. High pressure acts as a fence that's going to slide off and weaken, and that allows this to turn more to the north. So we're going to see more of that northerly route out of that. And all the models in good agreement, all of the models keep this to the northeast there of the Caribbean. But I do expect some strengthening out of this. And again, you see all of the islands, we have a 0% chance of tropical storm winds. This would be the chance of tropical storm winds in here. With that said, I want you to know too, I know things change. Things do change in the tropics. Know that in between videos, I am watching this. If anything changes, I'll let you know. As we go through the season, there's going to be storms that may seem like they're going to be weak, and then things change, and then they become stronger than expected. That's weather. As you go out in time, there's a lot of environmental conditions to deal with. So again, any changes, I'll be letting you know on that. But again, here we are across the Caribbean. Let me show you this. This blob here, that is what is Cindy. And yeah, again, it could spin up into a hurricane. That'll, of course, keep the seas. In the prior videos, I was highlighting the seas across the Caribbean, upwards of 6 meters, especially in the eastern Caribbean, topping out over 15, 16 feet in spots. So just wanted to point that out for our sailors out there. But you see the blob here. And by the way, my friends in Bermuda up here, I'm watching you. If this does try to stay together near Bermuda, I'll keep you covered on that. So again, in Bermuda, even eastern Canada, as these move up, I'm always watching that. But you see here again, as this makes its way, could become a hurricane, at the least a tropical storm, but to the northeast there of the island. So Trinidad and Tobago today, the higher chance of rain, as we've been talking about, a 70% chance, 60% chance tomorrow, down to a 40% chance on as we work our way into Sunday. Got you covered in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Martin, Saba, Statia. Again, rain chance about 30%. Again, the action as we've been talking about down to the south. Puerto Rico, 30-40% chance of scattered showers and storms as we swing into the weekend. There's no system coming to Puerto Rico. Curacao, even Aruba, about a 30% chance. I wish it was more. I'll keep an eye on that. It may bump up to a 40% chance. If Bret hangs together just a little bit longer over toward Bonaire, Curacao, and Aruba, it may be a slightly higher chance, but at least some scattered showers are possible as we get over toward the ABC Islands. And then Jamaica, rain chance ticks up Saturday, Sunday, 40% chance, could be a little bit higher. What's left of Bret passing to the south may bump us up to about a 50% chance as we work our way into Monday. And Belize, scattered showers and storms. So not all of us get this 40-50% chance through the weekend, but Monday into Tuesday with what will be the leftovers of Bret nearby, again, going to completely fall apart, but acting like a tropical wave, may see about a 60% chance of rain Monday and Tuesday. So keeping an eye on that over toward Honduras, Nicaragua, and the Yucatan of Mexico. So again, we had Arlene a couple weeks ago in the Gulf of Mexico. Bret is active. Cindy is active. The next name on the list is Don. There are no signs of that, though. I know there's strong tropical waves coming off of Africa, but those have been generally weakening as they move off. Conditions haven't been as conducive for development with those tropical waves back behind Cindy. I'll keep an eye on those. I do expect some named systems in the eastern Pacific to develop soon, so I'm going to be watching that. I'm watching Bret throughout the day. Cindy, which will be getting stronger as it curves a little bit to the northwest. So again, on top of everything, clearly a very busy pattern. Please leave your comments. Thank you for taking the time to share this channel and subscribe to this channel. I hope you have a good day ahead.